Well, hello and welcome to this English lesson about common verbs. The other day I heard a verb and it was the verb to admit. When you admit something, you say that you did it. Like if someone said, "Who ate the last cookie?" That's always my example. I might admit that I'm the one who ate the last cookie. So I did some brainstorming and I thought of about 22 other common verbs. And then I searched my previous lessons to make sure I haven't taught these before. And I think there's only one or two that I've taught before. Some will be familiar to you and some will be new. So welcome to this English lesson about common verbs. To attempt. When you attempt something, it means you try it. To try to do something. I tried to find a photo of somebody who was attempting something. I think this is a kayak. I think this person might be new at it. This might be his first attempt. He might be attempting to learn how to kayak. And I don't think you're supposed to be in the water when you are learning to do this. Actually, when you're learning to do it, you probably do fall in the water. So I used a couple of different phrases there. He is attempting to do it. This might be his first attempt. And again, when you attempt something, it means you are simply trying it. I'm having that weird situation this morning where the more I say a word, the stranger it actually sounds to me. But yes, to attempt means to try something. You might be attempting to understand a YouTube video without the subtitles on. That would be another good use of the word. To attempt, to try to do something. To order. Now, this one I think is very familiar to everyone. In fact, I'm not sure if you have Black Friday in the country where you live. It started in the United States, and it is a day where there are a lot of sales and you can get things usually at a discount. In order to do that, you need to order that thing. You need to ask for something to be made, delivered, or brought to you. So when you are in a restaurant and you are sitting down, you can order your food. Well, if you're standing at the counter, you can order your food as well. If you are online and you need to buy something, you can go to a website and you can put it in your shopping cart and then you can order it and then they will bring it to you the next day. So to order, to ask for something to be made, delivered, or brought to you. To order. Order now. By the way, just in the last week, I've gotten a lot of emails from places saying they're having a Black Friday sale and telling me I should order something from them. To deliver. Well, this happens after you order something. It means to bring something to someone or to a place. So after I order something, they will then deliver that to me. So if I order something online, the next day or the day after, they will deliver it. A van will arrive or a car, and the person will bring it to my front door. And then now they take a picture of the item sitting against my front door, and then I will get a little email saying that it has been delivered. So let's say I need to order a new pair of reading glasses. I could order them online. And then the next day or the day after, someone would bring them to my house. They would deliver them. To describe, to explain what something or someone is like. So let's say someone stole my package. Let's say there was a package leaning against my front door. I ordered it. It was delivered, and then someone took it, but I saw them take it. I would then describe to the police what they looked like. I would describe to the police what their car looked like. So it's to explain what something or someone is like or what they look like. So I would probably say they had on a baseball cap, they were wearing a gray sweatshirt and jeans, and they were driving a small red Toyota. That's how I would, in my imagination, describe it. So when you describe something, you are explaining what you've seen. This is a great thing to do when you're learning English as well. If you've learned the English word for dog, you should learn how to describe a dog as well. And when you don't know a word, when you're speaking English, it's good to be able to describe it to someone. Like if you said, the package came in like like not a car, but like a bigger vehicle, and it was white with no windows. And then the other person might say, oh, a van, because you were able to describe it. They can then tell you what the word is. To decide, to make a choice after thinking about the options. So the easiest, okay, it's not the easiest. One type of decision is a yes or no decision. Should I go to the shopping mall tonight? Yes or no? Should I make food at home tonight, or should I bring home a pizza? Yes or no? So when you decide, there are 2 options or 3 or more options, and you need to choose one. You need to make a choice. You need to decide. So today there are a few things I need to decide. This morning already decided to eat breakfast. Last week when I did the live lesson, I didn't have breakfast, and I felt like I needed more blood sugar in order to do a lesson well. So this morning I ate a muffin and I ate a banana. So I decided to have breakfast. I need to decide if I'm going to make a lunch and take that lunch to work. I'll have to decide that as well today. But when you decide, you make a choice after thinking about the options. To recommend, to suggest something you think is good. So you watch my English lessons, and I appreciate it. If I could, though, I also recommend that you watch the English lessons that Brent makes. Brent is American English Brent in the chat right now. He also has an English channel where he teaches English, and I highly recommend his channel. I would give it 2 thumbs up or 5 stars, 5 out of 5. So when you recommend, you suggest something you think is good. What movie did I recently watch? The Life of Chuck. It's a little bit of a strange movie, but I would recommend that movie. It was very interesting to me. If you like science fiction, if you like fantasy movies, I would recommend that movie. I also recommend pizza and poutine as awesome things to eat if you are hungry. So to recommend, to suggest something you think is good. Many of you recommend my channel to other people who are learning English, and I thank you for that, and I appreciate it. We would call that a recommendation. So thank you for the recommendation. To improve, to get better. So there's a couple ways to look at this. You can improve your eating by eating more vegetables and fruit and healthier food. You can improve how you look by getting a haircut and maybe working out so that you just look pleasing to other people, or you feel confident because of how you look. You can improve, let's say you're going to sell your car. You can improve how your car looks by painting it and removing some rust and making it look better. So to improve means to get better or to make something better. I can improve these lessons by adding a definition. In the past, when I taught a word, it didn't have the little definition, but I decided to improve my lessons. I decided to make them better by adding the little definition there, so that when I teach the word, you can also see what the definition or meaning of the word is. To improve, to get better, or to make something better. To include, to have something as part of a group of things or people. I had a little trouble writing this definition, but when you include something, it's part of something. So if you look at the picture, I tried to find a picture of a piece of furniture that included the tools to put it together. Sometimes when you buy a piece of furniture, you need to put it together. You need to assemble the furniture. And it's nice if they include the tools that you need to put it together. If you buy a couch from IKEA, a popular furniture store, I was going to say restaurant. IKEA does have restaurants, but IKEA is a furniture store. And quite often when you buy furniture from them, you have to put it together. It comes in a box. You need to assemble it. And often they will include the tool. I like to include everyone in my English lessons. Everyone is welcome to watch this English lesson. I want to include everyone. I want everyone to be part of this. So to include, to have something as part of a group of things or people. To prepare, to get something ready. Right now, it is just snowing a little bit. It has gotten cold here, and we need to prepare for driving in the winter. We need to get ready for driving in the winter. And I've mentioned this before. Those of you who live in countries where you need to drive in the winter, it's always a good idea to prepare for driving in the winter by putting some things in your car. We often will in the winter have a blanket in the car. We might have jumper cables. We might have a shovel. We definitely have an ice scraper. And then on the far side, it says full tank of gas. We tend to keep our cars full in the winter. Like if it's at half, I will fill the car up if I know that bad weather is coming. You don't want to be stuck driving in a snowstorm and all of a sudden be in a traffic jam or go in the ditch and have like hardly any gas, because when your car is running, it keeps you warm. So we don't keep water or snacks. Our cars have built-in phone chargers now, so that's a little bit different, but we definitely have jumper cables or booster cables, we call them, a blanket, and we usually keep the car somewhat full with gas because we want to be prepared. So we prepare by putting those things in the car. To prepare, to remove, to take something away. When I bought my phone, it had this little plastic protector like that it comes with, and you can peel it off. You can remove it, and it's very satisfying. You can see here when you buy a new TV, it also has a plastic film on the screen. They put that on in the factory, and then when you get it to your house, you get to remove it. So to take something away, to remove it. Sometimes at school, students will be drinking pop while they're using a school computer, and then I will remove it from their desk and put it at the front of the room because I don't want them to spill. So I will take something away temporarily. To remove, to take something away. To arrange, to organize or plan. At some point, this bookshelf was empty, and then this person decided to arrange all of the books and other things on this shelf to look pleasing. Okay, so when you arrange things, you put them in an organized order so it looks nice and so it's convenient. When you put food in the cupboards, you arrange it in a certain way. Maybe all the cans on one side, all the boxes on another. You arrange them, you organize them in a certain way. We can also use this to talk about planning an event. You can arrange a birthday party for someone. That means you order a cake or you bake a cake and you get some decorations and you do all those fun things. So you can arrange things or you can arrange an event, which means to make it happen. To remind. So I think before phones, when I was a kid, I never actually did this, but people sometimes would tie a string around their finger to remind them of something, to help someone remember. That's what it means to remind. Sometimes when I leave for work, Jen will remind me that I need to get some milk on the way home. Sometimes when Jen is going to market in the summer, I will remind her that she needs to go early that week because of, for whatever reason. So you can remind yourself, but you can also remind other people. So I think even when I schedule these live streams, you can click a button so that YouTube will remind you when the English lesson will start. So to remind, to help someone remember. To avoid, to stay away from something or to move away from something. You can see this child is biking and the person is opening the door of the car. So the kid is going to avoid the car. They're going to turn and swerve away. So they're going to stay away from the car. So when you avoid something, it means you stay away from it. We also use this sometimes to talk about people. Let's say you're at the mall and you see someone you don't want to talk to. You might avoid them. You might walk in a different direction. and hope they don't see you. Obviously, I've never done this, but sometimes you just don't feel like talking to certain people, so you might avoid them. So you might stay away from them. But usually we use it to talk about things like this. If I'm driving and there is, let's say, a deer runs onto the road. This happens in my part of Canada sometimes. I will swerve to avoid the deer, to stay away from the deer. To promise, to say you will definitely do something. So if I tell you I am going to do something, that is a promise. Sometimes a promise, if it's formal, will be sealed with a handshake. If I say I'm going to buy your car, I'm promising to buy your car, and we might shake hands. If I say that to my mom, I will visit you Friday night, I promise. It means that I'm saying I will definitely do that thing. So to promise, to say you will definitely do something. To suggest, to give someone an idea. So when people ask me, what's the best thing I can do to learn English? I will give suggestions. I will suggest that they do a lot of reading and listening. I will suggest that they find an English-speaking partner. I will suggest that they practice their writing. And I will suggest that they, did I miss one? Reading, writing, listening, speaking. I will suggest all 4 of those things. In a restaurant, it looks like the person sitting down isn't sure if they want a hamburger or pizza. So the server is suggesting that they have a hamburger. Maybe the hamburger is cheaper that night. Maybe it is the special. Maybe the hamburger is just really good. And the server is basically saying, do you want to try the hamburger? So when you suggest, you give someone an idea. To discover, to find something new. Probably the best example would be to look at history. Hundreds of years ago, people would sail in boats across the ocean and they would discover new places. They might discover an island. They might discover North America. They might discover a place where they've never been before. So there was a time where people were sailing. I think they might have called it the Age of Discovery. I might be making that up, but you can discover things. If we went to the moon and we found there were aliens there, we would have discovered an alien civilization. By the way, I'm not sure there are aliens. I think we might be alone in the universe as human beings, but to discover, to find something new. To prefer, to like one thing more than another. So if you look at these 2 pictures, you will have a feeling. You will either prefer the strawberry ice cream, or you will prefer the chocolate ice cream, or you may not like ice cream. You might prefer to not eat ice cream. I prefer the chocolate. I like chocolate ice cream more than strawberry ice cream, but I do like ice cream. And if I wanted to eat ice cream and there was only strawberry, I might say, well, I prefer chocolate, but strawberry will do. In English, when you say something will do, it means that it's a good replacement considering the other thing isn't available. So which do you prefer? Maybe you prefer the strawberry. Maybe you prefer the chocolate. Maybe you prefer to not eat ice cream. But it's basically to like one thing more than another. To enjoy, to like doing something. I enjoy doing live streams. I like doing live streams. I have mentioned this in the past that however my channel changes over the next number of years, I can see myself doing live English lessons for a while because I enjoy doing them. I also enjoy doing them because it's free of AI. This is a real person, Bob. This is not AI, a real person with real people learning from a real person. And I think I just really enjoy that. And I think a lot of you enjoy that too, which is why we have so many people here every Friday. So to enjoy, to like doing something. To admit, to say something is true. In this situation, I think this is a police officer questioning a suspect, hoping that he will admit that he did the crime. Earlier, I talked about someone eating the last cookie, and then I sometimes admit that it was me. So basically, you are confessing or you are saying something is true when you admit something. To request. to ask politely. So I put this picture here because when I was a kid, and I think you could still do this today, you could call a radio station and request a song. You could ask them politely to play a song. I never did this as a kid, but you would often hear them say the request lines are open. And then people would call in and say, can you play Piano Man by Billy Joel? Or can you play, I can't think of another name of the song. Can you play I Want to Be Free by Queen? When you request a song, you ask politely for someone to play it. At a wedding, if there is a DJ who's playing music, the DJ might say, hey, if there's any requests, come and tell me. And you can go and request a song. So to ask for something politely. If I needed to go visit my brother who lives a long ways away, I could request a day off from my boss. I could say, hey, could I have a day off to go visit my brother? At my work, you are allowed to take a day off for something like that, but then I don't get paid for that day. And then I have to pay for the person who replaces me. So if I'm sick, I can request a day off and it's free. But if I need to do something like, I can actually, sorry, that's not totally true. I can take one day for personal reasons a year. So to provide, to give something that is needed, parents will provide for their children. They will provide food. They will provide a place to live. They will provide clothing. They will basically give things that are needed to their children. At work, they might provide you with work boots, with safety boots. They might provide you with safety goggles and ear protection. They might give that to you because you need that to do the job. To compare, to look at two things and see how they are different or similar. So here we have a lollipop and a tomato. So you can compare them. They're both, one's pink and one's red. So they're somewhat close in color. One has a lot of one has a lot of sugar in it. One has some natural sugar in it. One is a candy, one is a vegetable. One is good for you and one isn't. So when you compare, you look at two things and you talk about how they are different or similar. You look at and see how they are different or similar. If you were to compare me and Brent, the other English teacher, we are somewhat similar looking. We both are about the same age. I'm quite a bit older actually, but we look the same age. We both have somewhat of some facial hair. I don't have like a full beard. I think in a recent picture, Brent had more of a beard, but you can compare us. We actually have very similar teaching styles. We try to speak clearly and accurately so you can understand what we're saying. So you can compare people, you can compare things, you can look at two things and see how they are different or similar.